Marathon's tagline says everything. Death is the first step. Not victory, not progress, not power.
Run.
Most games sell you strength. Marathon sells you risk. They said the world will be hostile. Surviving will be hard. Thriving? Rare. Every raid is stressful. Every weapon has weight. Every sound means something. Extraction isn't comfort. It's a gamble against players, against probability, and against yourself. And you're not a hero here. You're not chosen. You're not protected. You're a runner. An expendable body in a system that doesn't care if you make it out. So if death is the first step, the only question is, what do you do after it? Marathon shouldn't be fun. And that's why some of us won't be able to put it down. Now, let's be honest. If you played extraction shooters, hell, if you played any video game, death is inevitable. In most games, death is a reset. You die, you respawn, nothing really changes. The stakes are low. In Call of Duty, you're back in 5 seconds. You sprint the same lane, you challenge the same angle, you repeat the same fight. Death is just a delay. In Apex, you get knocked, revived, drop back in. You lost a moment, not a decision. Even in Destiny, when things go wrong, you wipe, reload the checkpoint, and try again with everything intact. Your gear stays. Your progress stays. Your confidence stays. Those games are built around momentum. They want you moving forward constantly. They don't ask you what you're willing to risk. They ask you how fast do you want to go. Extract shooters ask something different. They ask, what are you willing to lose? Bungie has stated they want the world to feel hostile. That you don't belong on Tau City. You aren't safe until you're back at your hideout. The silence will lie to you, and the space between the fights will be just as important as the fights themselves. Fun doesn't come from comfort here. It comes from tension. From knowing every step forward increases what you stand to lose and what you stand to gain. You're not playing the map. You're playing your own risk tolerance. Do you go loud and fight anything and everything? Do you go ratting just trying to get your task done? Do you bring the thing you worked hard for? Or a sponsored kit for just a quick little come up? That's the real gameplay loop. Not shooting, choosing. And Marathon leans into that. Choosing, what do you want to risk? What do you want to accomplish? And what do you want to fight? You load into a raid carrying decisions. Every weapon, every mod, every piece of loot is weight. Wait on your run, wait on the timer ticking down. And suddenly, the shots that you heard off in the distance just sound a little too close. Once you understand that weight, you understand the gamble. Loading into a marathon raid isn't routine, it's a risk. Every drop asks a question. What are you willing to risk to slightly increase your odds of just coming back? Do you bring the weapon you trust, or the one you're still learning? Do you carry high-tier gear and accept whatever you lose is gone? Every choice is leverage, and that leverage only matters because loss exists. You can play well for 20 minutes and lose everything in 2 seconds. And suddenly the loadout you built is gone. That hurts, not because it's dramatic, but because it's honest. You don't get fireworks, you don't get applause, you don't get a screen showing everything you happen to accomplish. You get a menu screen. A screen showing a naked runner, silent. But Marathon isn't just taking from you, it's teaching you. Every death leaves behind data. Where you stood, what you trusted, what you ignored, what you got greedy for. You don't just lose loot, you gain perspective. To learn which door was a mistake, which sound betrayed you, and which fight was never yours to take. Extraction shooters turn failure into currency. Gear disappears, but knowledge stays. The players who dominate aren't fearless, they're informed. They survive because every loss upgrades the next run. So when Marathon takes your weapons, it gives you back something heavier: judgment. And judgment is exactly what gets you out alive. In most shooters, they sell you on power. They want you to feel important, chosen, exceptional, unstoppable. You load in and the world bends around you. Enemies exist to be cleared. Bosses exist to be conquered. Systems exist to make you feel like a god. It's the classic power fantasy, and Bungie is famous for it. In Destiny, you're a god slayer. In Halo, you're the last line between extinction and survival. You're always at the center of the universe. But Marathon is doing something different. You're not a hero. You're not special. You're not even permanent. You're a shell, a runner. And in Marathon, a runner isn't a legend. You're infrastructure. Your body printed, licensed, dropped into a hostile place. A shell rented out by corporations who want their own hands dirty. You take the contracts. You take the risk. You absorb the bullets. They collect the data. To them, you're not a person. You're a throughput. Just a cog in a machine built to extract value from a dead system. Your job isn't glory. It's intrusion. It's sabotage. It's stealing things that aren't meant to be touched. And while you're doing their work, the UESC is hunting you. Every runner is trespassing. Every deployment is illegal. Every step forward is inside someone else's territory. So when you die, the system doesn't mourn you. It replaces you. Another shell, another contract, another expendable body sent back into the noise. Being a runner means you're not playing the world. The world is consuming you. You're not here to save it. You're here to survive it. That changes everything. Because when the game doesn't protect your ego, every action carries weight. You're not pushing because the story needs you. You're pushing because you're desperate. You're not winning because you're chosen. You're winning because you earn space to breathe. Marathon isn't about being powerful. It's about being vulnerable in a violent place. And that's why death matters. Because when you're not a god, every bullet feels closer. Every door feels heavier. Every mistake feels permanent. You're not a hero chasing moments. You're chasing extraction. And that's what makes the story personal instead of cinematic. In Marathon, wins are earned the hard way. Because you don't just beat players. You beat fear. You beat hesitation. You beat the voice that says, just take one more room. Just take one more item. Stay in this raid just a little longer. Extraction shooters are psychological. They test restraint more than aim. And when you finally extract, it's not exciting because the animation looks cool. It's exciting because you survived your own decisions. Because for once, everything worked. And that happens because failure exists. Because some raids end way before they even began. Extraction shooters are bitter games. They take things you've earned and erase them in seconds. One bad angle, one camper in a doorway, one sound you just didn't hear. And suddenly the kit you spent time building is just gone. It sucks sitting at your character screen, staring at a naked runner stripped of everything you earned last raid. That feeling is empty. And most games try to soften that. They throw XP at you, they flash progress bars, they tell you it's okay. Good extraction games don't. They let that loss sit there. And Marathon, if Bungie does it right, won't try to make that comfortable. Because extraction games aren't always fun. They're tense, they're unfair, they're quiet in the worst moments. A good extraction shooter doesn't laugh at you when you load the next raid. It doesn't make you feel small for failing to extract, dying to a camper, missing an objective isn't failure. Giving up is. My enjoyment from extract shooters come from a place more than just juiced raids. It comes from treating every run, death or survival, as a lesson. And that goes deeper than games. If you're like me, you know what it's like to fail, to invest time into something, and just watch it not pan out. to sit in that quiet space where your mind starts rewriting who you know yourself to be, where failing at something makes you feel smaller than you actually are. Failure can take people to dark places, but life works the same way extraction does. You don't respawn, no clean slate, no reverting back. You rebuild. After something breaks, you assemble the next loadout. New tools, new plan, new mindset. Even whenever you feel empty, even when you lost everything you thought that mattered. Kaizen means improvement through process, not perfection, not winning every time, but continuing after loss, learning what killed you, stepping back into that system anyway. And the reason we do that isn't optimism, it's defiance. We redeploy because something in us refuses to stay down, because loss doesn't get the final word, because silence doesn't decide who we are. Marathon shouldn't always be fun. It should be risky, filled with obstacles, because meaningful, satisfying gameplay comes from overcoming something, from staying in it, from going again, from doing one more raid, from rebuilding after the system just broke you. So when Marathon opens and you lose your gear and your plan fails and the world sends you back to the menu, remember, you're not starting over. You're improving forward, out of discipline, out of growth, out of defiance. I'm Kaizen, and if you're with me, after every run, good or bad, we'll build the next loadout together.